legendary moments will be captured. So stand up, scream, and make sure the boys feel you.
And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
I can't hear you.
Right again. Hey guys, welcome back to Primetime Studios. Can you hear me now? Ah, there it goes. There it goes. Gotta do a couple of things. Anyways,
What up?
how about the Cowboys,
Let's get
man?
into it.
Yeah, I'm just like on cloud nine, man. I had a great day today, going into work with my chest held high. Man, it was quite a bit of a day. I had a really good, and of course it started from yesterday. Man, welcome everybody.
Hot mic. Who's the hot mic?
No. Meaning that
Who's hot mic all down.
I got no microphone going on. That's what the best thing is. I'm over here talking, telling everybody the world, and nobody can hear me. So, but anyways, game time, man. How are you doing since yesterday? Of course, we were here on the broadcast. We had some people here following us and stuff, but hey, man, we were holding down the fort.
Listen, man, we're just getting started with the whole live stream thing. We're going to start bringing a lot more to the table as far as cool things. So just keep a lookout. You can go back and forth with I know like a lot of people go into Mark's live, but I will say, come on, man, come say hi to us for a few minutes. But so over it. I see so over it in the chat. I literally just got home. I got out of the shower. I got dressed. I haven't had a chance to go on my computer yet. I'm going to take care of you later. But yes, man, I'm excited. I got to hear Mike McCarthy. And after hearing everything and sifting through everything, yes, could we be better in the red zone? Yeah, we can, Phil. We can be better, right? But he was crossing off plays. Once he got up 14-0, he was crossing off plays and didn't want to waste anything and show anything he didn't have to.
Yeah.
So I'm good.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yesterday, as we did the broadcast, I mean, there were some times where you could get frustrated, but you have to, again, the whole context of the game. Well, who are you taking on? In previous years, I think even if you don't even have to look back into the last year. Let's go ahead and just look at the Chargers game and Kellen Moore and what he was able to do to bring them back and get that win. No, he did not. And so curl routes, all that kind of stuff, it just wasn't there. There was a type of holding back, as you can say. And I really kind of feel like I feel this unleashing of this offense. And it really had, of course, you're not going to, play a top defense like this all the time. So the fact that there was some miscues and everything, there was a lot of stuff there that you can say this was not perfect football. But, man, they still got points on the board, almost all drives. There was something positive to look forward to.
Listen, man, we have a dominant defense. You could travel in the NFL. I heard Brian brought us today as I was doing my route later on in the afternoon. He made a statement. Well, him and the whole G-Bag Nation were talking about it. Basically, we haven't seen a defense like this since the 90s. This is that good of a defense. I'm curious to see if we can maintain this level, because that's the key to getting to the promised land.
Yeah.
The reason, and any Eagles fans that are in the chat, which I know my buddy Ultra hates it, but we have a lot of Eagles fans, and they're welcome as long as they're respectful. The key to getting to the promised land is the defense to stay at that level or as close to that level the whole year, and that's what the Eagles were able to do last year and relatively stayed
healthy.
Yeah. I mean, so if we can bring this defense week in and week out for 17 games, we're going to win a lot of games, playoffs included. Listen, I'm excited. I am excited.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at this defense, I've never seen a defense like this. Let's be real. I mean, you start putting it to pieces together. I mean, they talk about, oh, when's the last time you saw a dominant guy like Micah Parsons on this team? Well, I can look back and look at a lot of dominant people, but was he a game changer? Was he getting 3 blocks? Was he, no. I mean, that just wasn't there. He wasn't bringing that fire. It wasn't bringing that Ray Lewis kind of attitude to the team, that a leader, someone that you're listening to as soon as he starts talking, a guy that he doesn't tell you what to do, he shows you what to do. So I mean, it's a leader in all the labels that it comes with it, and I think you can't compare that to anybody. It's just one of those guys. When you talk about guys like Reggie White and everything, well, he's like a Reggie White. He's like, well, those guys set their name to be the standard, and I think that's what Parsons is going to do. It's just going to be that type of name by the time of his end of his career, and we just hope that we can hone him in and keep him here. So, and he wants to be here.
I like what I'm seeing as a leadership qualities that Parsons. It's almost like he's matured even from last year to this year. What he says, I like what he's doing. Shout out to Glimmerman. Our offense did what it needed to do. Dak took. Yeah, go ahead, man.
No, go ahead. Continue. I was going to tell you that.
Dak took shots downfield, but Mike McCarthy actually stuck with the run. Want to see what happens if we get behind.
It's situational football, man. Situational football.
I think right now there's one guy that's, after 2 games, and it's only been 2 games. I had a couple trolls. My man Hamid was trolling big time during the live stream today.
You know how those was. It's just like,
how many assholes we got on this ship?
But
anyhow?
I didn't.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Hamid, I love you, but you were an asshole.
Keep firing,
Sorry.
assholes.
And
that's basically what it is, man. They just keep going. Like, they look around, they go, man.
He just kept bringing up Dak. I'm like, this is our victory Monday. Okay, we're not talking Dak. We're not talking Jalen. We're talking about the victory. Okay, you want to bring? Yeah, we haven't won since VCRs and put that shit aside. This is victory Monday. I'm allowed to enjoy it for 24 hours. Like I told Mark last week, I said, he was like, oh, it's only 1 game. We're allowed to enjoy it, especially after the misery that we suffered with this team over the last few years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's funny. That's hilarious.
Go ahead, get to the chat.
No,
man.
Lord Nova's like, take his wrench. Game time.
I know everybody wants me to take his wrench. His wrench is on the line, and I told him to show up tonight. So if he doesn't show up tonight, his wrench is gone.
That's all. No. Oh, okay. I know you're talking. I know you're talking about. Hamid. You're talking about Hamid.
Yeah, well, Hamid. Hamid kept love the channel. Okay, but we're not talking about Jalen Hurts. We're talking about Victory Monday. Come on, man. Some years, we're dominating right now. Okay, we're gonna go into Arizona and we're gonna dominate them. Mm-hmm. So it's exciting, Phil. It's exciting.
And we're gonna cover a lot of the game itself. I want to kind of stick to the defense as we're gonna speak, because really they set the tone. They kicked it off. The offense kind of went and did its thing and kind of set the tone. And I know why they did that, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But when you talk about this defense, what part of it do you want to start with? I think the people that should have recognition. Oh man, it cut my letters off there on the text. But when you look at some of these guys, Parsons, yes, of course, sets that chaotic mess going, but when you look at it, who set the tone? DeMarcus Lawrence really was the first one that really kind of got his head in there, getting pressures, he was there, he was in there. You got Osa just wreaking havoc as a defensive tackle. That guy right now is shining in the defensive tackle spots compared to other guys, but. You have some guys. Armstrong, I think that's the guy that kind of gets forgotten. That guy always just all he does is sack the quarterback. That's it, right? But when you look at the defensive line, there is a lot of praise to go along, and I think you have to start there.
Yeah, defensive line up and down the line. It starts with the first play of the game. Just real quick, Mark Holmes, I hope your foot's feeling better. I'll be joining you after our show. I know we got our wires crossed, but I hope you're feeling better, man. It starts with Micah Parsons. Everything starts with the lion, okay? All the lions in his den are feasting, and it starts off with D. Law. DeMarcus Lawrence opened up the game. I hadn't seen a hit like that on a running back 4 yards in the
For a
backfield.
while, yeah.
In
Especially to set the tone,
quite
I
a long
think. Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Hey, Brees Hall, I got news for you because he comes out
Oh,
today
yeah, I heard it.
saying
I heard it. I
the
saw
reason
it.
why we lost
This guy didn't
why
get
is because
touches.
we didn't run the ball.
'Cause I didn't take
You
touches.
weren't going to run the ball consistently. The only thing you were going to get is what you got, which was one of those plays down the field, broken play. Malik Hooker has a bad angle. The one play, Gilmore gets beat on a top-notch receiver. The safety's supposed to bail him out and keep him to a catch over the middle. Didn't happen. That's how you were going to score.
Yeah, there's always that.
Listen, man, we are feasting on defense, and Twiz knows it. What up, Twiz?
Well, that's the thing is you gotta when you look at it, the pressure, the stunts. There were some points where they weren't. I think, a lot of people try to attack this defense in the sense that, well, the scrambling quarterback. Well, the scrambling quarterback, anything. The scrambling quarterback. Every team has a problem with scrambling quarterbacks. Guess what? Every team has a problem usually with the 2-minute drill. So you add the scrambling quarterback and the 2-minute drill, boom, double negative, and you're somehow Cowboy Nation is jumping on that and like, oh my God, we can't stop. Dude, we saw what we did. We adjusted you adjust with the quarterback spy, and you put that quarterback spy to cover the zone in the middle. So they're doing two things and not just the one thing where you're wasting the guy. No, man, you stick them in that zone and you let them watch. So to me, you're taking away the dump off to the running back, and you're giving a quarterback spy. So it's just like, at what point do people try to like outmaneuver like just basic football, dude?
Yeah. I don't think we played that defense against the Jalen Hurts either. We're not going to play. They weren't that worried. They knew that Zach was mobile and could get out of the pocket, but they weren't terrified. No. Zach ain't going to take it to the house like a Jalen Hurts could. So they're not going to play that. Me and Phil were talking about it during the game. Why are they allowing it? And it took the halftime adjustments to where you saw Marquise Bell was back in the box like last week.
Yeah,
and
there was a couple of times.
Stop to all that extra.
If it wasn't Bell,
so
yeah. If we were thinking Jawan Thomas, there was another guy. I mean, you just need somebody there with some speed.
Wanye Thomas, Bell, but I did see Bell make a stop where Zach thought he had it, and
he ran open. It was open. Bell jumps in that zone, and it was just closed immediately. So then he tried to decide that he was going to throw it, and it was like, no, that's not going to happen.
So, unless you're going to have a breakdown on your corners time and time again, which is not going to happen with these two elite corners, it's not going to happen. You're going to have to do drive after drive after drive against this defense, and I don't see it happen. Most teams won't. I'm not getting ahead of myself, but we got 2 more games.
But when you look at it,
the actual test.
When we were talking about the score a couple of days ago, how are the Jets going to score? Let's see. How are they going to score? It's going to be at a freak play that's going to happen out of nowhere, and we can point to the spot that it happened. And it's just one of those things. Those things, the bad angle, whatever it is. Romo likes to say, oh, well, so-and-so is not supposed to cover on over there, and trying to saying that Diggs is more being beat. Okay, maybe he does. Wilson's an elite wide receiver, and the fact that when you look at it, and they're going, well, Hooker got all the way over from the other side of the field. Well, it seems like Hooker was supposed to be covering over the top, and Diggs on the bottom. For me, I'm like, it kind of discredited Romo a little bit in my eyes, because it's just some of the stuff that he was saying in that broadcast. I was like, dude, really? Like, there's no point to it. I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, Romo is definitely taking a step back. It was exciting early on when Romo was doing this thing, he guessing the plays. He's just, it's almost like he doesn't do his homework now. And he's kind of sitting back on what he already knows, but whatever. All I know is this defense is, like travels, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
But when I look at it, what I was saying in general was just, that's what it was. It was a busted coverage, one play, boom, all of a sudden the guy breaks it, and I like that they clamped down after that. I mean, I feel good, and I think you prove a really big point there. If you have to drive against this team, it's you're not going to be successful majority of the time. So if that's the case, that's amazing for us on our offense. But when you look at the defense in the sense of, I think the turnovers, eventually in the fourth quarter, that's what you saw, right? turnovers start to happen. Diggs got some, the Curse got some. You know, it's even Hooker got one right there. So I mean, it's amazing to watch these guys go to work, and when the pressure starts to get there, I was wondering about those turnovers. I was like, yeah, okay, we don't have anything.
News.
What's that?
Breaking news. It's not that breaking. I just saw it. I just looked at my phone. Dallas has cut Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones has been cut from the team.
Yeah.
I was
after suspension. I was wondering what's going to happen too. That was okay.
So Ronald Jones has been released. I was a little surprised by that. That was my original take.
Yeah.
But then after everybody seemed to say, well, we don't have a short yardage guy. Ronald Jones, we hardly knew ye. So, oh well. Now, listen. Everybody needs to stop panicking about Deuce Vaughn. Deuce Vaughn. I know I'm all over the place, but
no,
anyway,
that's okay.
Like I brought up the Ronald Jones thing, so I'm going to just slide right into the offense real quick. Our running back is going to be fine. I wasn't happy with the amount of work that Pollard got yesterday. He got over 30 touches. I don't like that, man. That's a lot for him. I think you need to be a little bit more. I think you need to get Deuce in there more as a legit running back. Maybe 10 carries and Rico, just a few more. Or even if not Rico, it has to be what's his name, Hunter Lepke. He needs to get Hunter Lepke can't play fullback. If anybody saw that yesterday, he got blowed up multiple times.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's against an awesome defense. I mean, that everybody forgets how good they are. Yeah. You know, it's like, oh, you only beat the Jets. The Jets have a better defense than the Eagles, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Right now, the defense is better than the Eagles.
Yeah. Now the defensive line,
tell me I'm wrong, Twiz.
But the overall, yes, I would definitely
agree.
But
Rico.
But yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not really surprised. I guess we could switch over to the offensive side of the ball since that's what
Well, just go wherever, man. This is a Victory Monday. Ultra Cowboys in the house.
Nice.
Just talking about you.
Okay, yeah. Damone Clark. I think it's just everybody else is making plays. I mean, I don't know if Damone. I wouldn't put Damone on there yet.
I didn't hear Damone, so that's not a bad thing. Yeah.
They may have just not.
They didn't run the ball much.
No.
They didn't run the ball much. So, how can it be a bad thing? You can't count. You got to cover the outside threats. They have some speedy receivers. I hear now. It is hysterical, Phil, all the downplaying of who we beat. Oh, well, you beat Daniel Jones and you beat, the guy yesterday. Yeah. It's like, slow it down already. Slow it down. We beat who's on our schedule. We beat a better schedule than Kirk Cousins in Primetime and Mac Jones. They both put over 300 yards against you.
Well, I mean,
big play Slay at.
Well, when I look at the Giants, it'd be different if they had not kicked it up. If I had not kicked it out in the second half, what's that?
You went.
Well, just because I'm trying to word it correctly, because otherwise it can be insulting. With New York,
insult.
How many? 60 point? Well, how many points did they give away? 60 points before they finally scored a touchdown. Is that rust? Is that rust, or is that signs of things to come? Did you get lucky for 2 quarters?
And it was a broken play.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure that part out. I'm talking about the Giants. I'm just talking about the Giants. I'm talking about the Giants in the sense of their little comeback victory.
Well, they scored 28 second, or they scored what? 30
if they don't score anything, it devalues our win. Obviously,
Exactly.
And so, but then you come back and they win and everything. So, I mean, it kind of puts more on the fact that, okay, with Dallas and everything. But again, Arizona, Josh Dobbs, it's hard to give total credit on that sense. But again, you're right, man. You got to beat the teams that are in front of you. And it's not just beat the teams in front of you. It's how do you beat the teams in front of you? Did you dominate them?
Exactly.
Did you, or was it just you squeaked out with a field goal? What was it? And so... in this unfortunate situation, it's no longer the Fast and the Furious, where it doesn't matter whether you win by an inch or a mile. This one does kind of matter here, So, next week, of course, we got a different opponent. It seems like it should be a dominating victory, but you see Arizona, you see how they're doing, and they did against the Giants. Do you see them putting a fight?
No, they were. Yeah, for a little bit. Yeah, they're a scrappy team. I don't think this defense. I love the mentality. I like what I'm hearing from this defense. They're not taking any team lightly. And
You talking about
what I
Arizona,
was saying
right?
earlier. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. I think they're a scrappy team. They almost won last week. They almost won this week. They're like right there.
And yeah, and we always
Yeah, they're actually. I mean, it ain't like they're getting, shut out. They're
So what do
putting
you
up
so what do you
points.
feel
It's
about
just,
the win in the sense of Washington as well? I mean, how do you feel about that win? Does that prove anything, or is that again luck?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean,
because
because Washington wasn't losing by a little bit of by a little bit. This is Denver, Denver's dominating. It doesn't seem like anything, and then Denver starts doing Denver things. It's not like Washington Sam Howell just started turning it on. It was just dropping buckets in there, and it was like turning over. No,
it all goes back to the defense, honestly. And I'm not trying to be like we're going to play this way the whole year, but do you see our defense giving up touchdown after touchdown after touchdown against Sam Howell? No, I do not. I could see them getting.
I could see him, rushing around and doing his stupid thing. Yeah,
and throwing one up.
Yeah,
and like what happened yesterday, that's going to happen once a game, possibly.
I want to light up.
It is what it is.
Nice twist.
Well, I'm hoping we light him up next week, Twiz.
Yeah, and
I expect a win, but in the past, these are the games that would slip us up.
But that's the thing
and
that's the difference between this team and last team. And I think that's the difference between my prediction of the past 2 weeks compared to previous teams. Yes, the Jets. Remember when we played the Jets with Sam Darnold and we just couldn't put them away, and it was just they stayed in the game because of the stupidity stuff that happened throughout the game. That's the Cowboys of that time frame. And when you look at this team, you look at the depth. I'm going to say it all season because that's what you're going to see, the depth. What happened when finally Edoga went out? And nothing against Edoga. He's been holding it down. We didn't believe in him in the beginning, and he's held it pretty down. But when Bass came in, that was a whole different ballgame. He was dominating. He had the power. He wasn't giving up anything. So to me, wow, that's amazing. Now you add in the fact that Tyler Smith is going to be coming back into the rotation. Tyler Smith is not better than the guy that we had there. I mean, he did pretty well as well, too. So it's just like there's a combination there that I know that these guys are still coming back. There's still guys that are not, Donovan Wilson. What happens when he comes back? It's not like Donovan Wilson's a step down from, Bell, probably twice as good as Bell, And not to say that Bell doesn't have that ceiling or anything like that, but to me, it's just I see us getting better, more personnel, and I also feel that if we can just cut down some of those plays, the accuracy that was in the corner or some of these these little bitty things, it's a more potent offense. So again, you have it. It does. The potential is still up there, and you haven't unleashed anything yet.
Yeah,
and I agree. I agree, Twiz, and that's to me is the test. The 49ers, the Winers itself. It's.
I know, Eastside. I'm just breaking stones, man. I actually had you guys on the pool, man. Sorry about that. This is a tough one.
This is a young team. I mean, he's going to have to go. I mean, Bryce Young, when you're talking about the Texans, I mean, he's going to have to go through his growing pains. And unfortunately, they just don't have the team to protect him right now. And, yeah, it's just, can he hold up that whole season? That's going to be the question, So, I think if you leave him out there and he gets the experience, that's going to be amazing for him. And then you just got to draft offensive linemen. You got to draft offensive linemen because otherwise he's not going to last at all. And then you're right back in the same boat in 3 years from now. So, but anyway, let's go back to
Eric Caters.
So let me ask you a question. How'd you like
Eric says,
Go ahead.
No. Eric Cater says he's a little worried about Rojo being cut. I feel like we need a power back in them big names.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Even with Rojo there, I don't think we have that power back. Like, everybody's like, well, Rico is that. Well, Rico's just, he runs with power. That doesn't mean he's that power back, Even Hunter's not the power back. And it's just, I totally understand, but who's out there, Like, who would you get? That's the question.
Hey, East Side. Yeah, I agree with you. East Side Harold. Eagles fans are like flexing a lot and saying that, who did we beat? Well, yeah, you beat the Patriots, who were 0-2, right? I mean, they did beat the Patriots, who were 0-2. Bengals, I called it. I called them out being 0-2. I called the loss yesterday. Chargers, Bears, and Cardinals.
I can
They're
see
all
them
0-2.
losing, but man,
Cardinals doesn't really.
they're losing stylely.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I like your young quarterback east side, and I like your defense. I love your head coach, so you'll be fine.
I like the head coach. I'm a big fan of the head coach.
Yeah. So Eric Cater says it definitely worrisome. I don't know, man. Rojo may have been really. Listen, man, you don't go from that many teams to, it's not that much of a loss. If you're telling me I can go young, get Hunter Lepke more in the single back. Let me see more Deuce Vaughn, who looked explosive when he was running the ball. I like that, man. We got Pollard. We're fine.
I mean, to me, that seems like a piece that we could definitely get in next year's draft. A bigger back to actually target. But to me, it's just, I understand what he's saying. I mean, I'd feel better putting, Gallimore with the freaking ball and letting him run into the end zone. At least that makes him more useful.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, so I have to poke at him and stuff. But let's go. I mean, we talked about how the offense. Again, there was times they were there. They're kind of shooting themselves in the foot a little bit. But CeeDee Lamb, what do we got to say about CeeDee Lamb, man? To me, that catch where he catches it, the guy shoots his legs from underneath him. He hits it, just stands up. I don't know if he's standing up again to kind of be like, okay, I need a moment. But either way, man, he doesn't let them know. He doesn't let them know, and he just flexes. I love it.
I don't know what or why the Jets are playing that type of defense. If I'm going against the Cowboys, I'm doubling CD and letting Tolbert, Gallup, who hadn't shown much yet this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially yesterday when we didn't have Brandon Cooks, the other speedster.
Exactly.
I know Eastside, he loves him so much, but we didn't have him. So you would have thought, let's take out, but they didn't choose to do that. And look what happened. CeeDee Lamb caught 11 balls. I mean, that's just dumb. And CeeDee Lamb was wide open on one. Well, towards the end of the game in the left part of the end zone, Dak
where he went to the other opposite.
Went through his progressions, and then didn't go back. But that's fine. But wide open
because Jake was really open as well too. So I mean, he wasn't as wide open, but he was there too. I mean, he brings that ball down a little bit. That's definitely a touchdown. So hey, that's what I'm saying. You could see the improvement, and then by the end of the game, that all they were trying to do is get that clock going. Just keep it running. Don't care whatever is going on. Just keep it running. If you want to talk to me here over there, as long as the clock is running, I don't really care. You need to use the restroom, I don't care. As long as the clock is running. So no matter what they did,
we got up 14. And McCarthy just shut it down. He's like, all right, we're not taking many chances.
Because he knows how this defense was doing, how the offense was not doing anything against the defense. So everything told him to slow the game down.
Dak loves the offense, man.
And the fact that Dak runs the offense very efficient.
Yeah, he'll throw.
Well, you look at his third down efficiency. I mean, look at what he was doing on third down. That guy was, they were doing some cooking yesterday. So Go ahead.
Everybody who was talking Kellen Moore, right? Everybody was talking a lot about
We're
Kellen
gonna miss
Moore. What
him.
do you think about now? Well, everybody was so panicking. We led the league in scoring. How do you think San Diego is happy right now? There's no rhyme or reason. You get a lead, you keep throwing.
So the old saying goes,
you have a 3 and out. It's just very frustrating watching Kellen Moore.
Sometimes you gotta let things fall apart in order to make way for better things. So it's just. And that's unfortunately one of those things. Like when I see him playing, they're talking about, that play call is coming in very fast because he knows what he's doing. He understands situational football. He's already eliminating these plays over here. He's not just going down the line. I didn't get to use this one in the third quarter because we stopped all of a sudden. Let me go ahead and bring that bubble screen back in there.
They doubled Gallup a lot, really?
Yeah, and they did. They do.
They doubled the Gallup a lot,
and
they?
And so
I don't
there
know.
were some times. I did see him getting it, but
okay.
I they were just the zone. You know how the zones are, and he
throwing out shots out to AJ Brown.
So when he goes into the middle, he has to cover. He has that one corner, and then the inside linebacker that's covering him as well. So I mean, yeah. So he's going to get that double coverage, but again, Dak was really attacking this zone very well. I mean, you look at the pass to CeeDee Lamb, that one that he fumbles, and then Tyler Biadasz runs 50 yards down the field to recover that fumble. When you really look at it, I pointed it out to some people. Like, you look at the running back that's just running out of the backfield, he's just standing there, and Biadasz just runs by him all the way down, and then the ball comes out, and he just grabs it and pulls it in. That is so their ball. There's a couple of times where the game could have swung another way. I mean, we look at that Sauce Gardner pick, that should have been a pick six. But there's been some times on the other side where we should have taken advantage of some situations too that we didn't. So, hey, man, it goes both ways. But when you look at the overall outcome, man, what a heck of a victory. Dak had 81% percentage if they aren't 6 drops. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And I hate to say that, but last week was pretty bad with the pouring rain, with basically all the tight ends just dropping everything, including a touchdown pass. But I'm not here to, I'm not going to get greedy. Let's put it that way. We're sitting pretty now. Like I said, the division is better on paper and in the standings column. We got 3 teams at 2-0. Where the Giants are 1-1. Giants woke up a little. Now they lost Saquon for 3 weeks.
Well, tell them about that one. I'm gonna say go. I didn't know Barkley was out.
Yeah. He hurt his ankle. He has a high ankle sprain. Yeah. I know it happens every year, but he killed me in fantasy. So yeah, he did enough to.
No, he did enough, and then he's gonna be out.
Prescott,
yeah, of course.
Yeah, Dak Prescott on interception-free start. I'm still going to take shots, he says. So I liked it.
Yep.
Tolbert wasn't open, but it was single coverage. He took his shot. The ball wasn't, I don't know how much him and Tolbert have actually did that other than in the Dak yard. So, yeah, Ultra Cowboy, he's out for 3 games.
Yeah, to me, this wasn't the defense. This isn't the defense, and I know that because everybody was harping to try to go downfield. And I understand the whole thing, try to keep somebody honest, or you don't know what you're going to get pass interference-wise, but this defense is definitely made for that. Josh Allen learned the hard way. So you got to attack defenses the way that they're built. Some are built more to stop the run, other ones are built more to stop the pass. It's hard to get a balance of both. Yeah. If you have a balance of both on your defense, that means your offense sucks ass most of the time. Let's be real. So if you could, this team has been slowly being built. And, of course, if you have a mastermind like Will McClay being able to get his nice scouting department that does an amazing job of not just, recruits drafting. I mean, just the guys that they're released along the league. And I think that's the difference between this Cowboys team and other Cowboys teams in the past. And, again, the depth. If one person gets out, it's no longer that, next man just stands up. It's just like, where Garrett would say that, there's the next man up. Well, we understand that, but is your next man up even worth it? And so that's the problem. A lot of times with the Garrett era, when they would get a guy that was worth it, that means they would get rid of someone else instead of having, now you have 2 guys at that position or 3 guys. And, as for example, safety where you have 4 guys. So to me, everything is changing culture-wise, and you can see it. I mean, and I love it. It's just a different style of football. Again, it's when you play those teams that you've had trouble with in the past. That's more of the. I'm interested to see how you do against the 49ers, for example. So, sorry to take up that big, huge chunk, but.
No, you're good, man. Biadasz, shout out to Glimmerman. Biadasz listens. He stayed with the play till the end. All of our offense should be following the play. Listen. Biadasz is playing at a Pro Bowl level after 2 weeks. He picked up right where he left off last year. So
first week, when I look back, the first week there was some stuff where you're like, that no, you cannot question that Jets game, man. He was hitting people. He was going. Yeah.
So Josh Allen is overrated. He has always led the league in turnovers. Josh Allen reminds me of a guy who's going to break your heart. He's going to show he's physically intimidating, big guy, can run around you or over you. And
so you think he's going to have like an Andrew Luck type of career?
Super Bowls.
Yeah, kind of like an Andrew Luck type of career.
And then he shits the bed like he does. Yeah. And yet nobody talks about him. You tell me why. Why is it that Dak is getting scrutinized so much for 1 year where he had a freaking screw in his
I can tell you why, though. I
in
can
his
tell you
throwing hand?
It's because
Go ahead, I
Buffalo
wanna
won.
hear it.
Buffalo lost 4 Super Bowls in a row. That's it. They lost 4 Super Bowls in a row, and you get a pass until you win one. That's basically what it is.
Well,
Like, nobody hates you. Nobody cares. Like, nobody cares. It's like if we had lost those Super Bowls in the '90s, we wouldn't be hated as much as we are. It's just a success. That's usually what it happens. And with Buffalo, I mean, I think that's what it is. Is you got 4 Super Bowls that you go to, you lose in a row, and then everybody just kind of like writes it off for the rest until you're something again, right?
Yeah, right. Let's see, Glimmerman. That pass Dak through the Lamb on the slant early in the game was real good. Looked like it was behind Lamb, but it was where it had to be.
And that's what I was talking about, because it was right in a
and I want to
tight
touch
zone.
on that, but go ahead, Phil.
No, and that's what I was trying to do, and I think I jumped off into some other subject, because that's obviously, once I thought about that Lamb pass, obviously that's what I thought about Biotis running down the field. But man, if you look at that pass, yeah, I think he definitely hits the nail on the head, where that was just right on the spot. Like, if he leads him a little bit more, that linebacker gets a hand on it. If
What's
it's behind him.
Phil, you played. Not to puff you up too much more than you already puffed up, but you played college football, University of Oregon. Shout out Ducks. You know how the game is. What's the one thing a receiver doesn't want to have to do? He doesn't want to have to catch and have his momentum going into the middle of the field, whether it be a safety or a linebacker sitting there ready to take your head off. You want, on occasion, to have it slightly behind you so you can kind of protect yourself. So I will call out Dak when I need to. That was actually a good throw.
Yeah, I mean,
yes. Yeah,
I mean, because what, two quarters later, he throws a bad pass into the corner of the end zone? I mean, yeah, so it's just, I trust him more to make that throw than to miss it. I mean, when I look at the ones that he missed during that rain game, man, it was just a little bit high. I think that's, and what the nice thing about those ones that he was missing a little bit high, they were just tend to be on the sideline. So when he missed high, he was just going out of bounds. It wasn't like he was missing high into the middle of the field. So I really like how he passes in the rain. That's a hard thing to do. It's just now, if it ever rains or we're over in that situation, you're going to question whether the tight ends can do it. So I think they're going to have to make up for it if we ever get into that situation again. But, I mean, I liked how the Titans came back out this one. I mean, you look at Jake Ferguson, scores his first touchdown. Of course, Luke Schoonemaker, once he makes his first catch, what is it? It's for a touchdown. So, I mean, and Hendershot, I think Hendershot would have had a touchdown too if he actually just cuts instead of keeps going. There's like a whole spot where he could have just walked in, but he keeps running past the other, I don't know, there's 2 people blocking him. And he like runs past, and then he just gets eaten up by 2 or 3 of them. And I was like, man, it was right there. So that was the questionable calls. I mean, you were right there when we were talking about the goal line situation. Tell me about that. You didn't like the play calling that he had there. Tell me why.
Well, listen, if I'm going to be critical, it'll be our red zone. When you get the ball to 17, you need to get it in for a touchdown. And if you don't do it once, and then you get the ball back at the 37. One of those drives, you need to cap it with a touchdown. But I'm going to couch it. That was my reaction watching it. And then after hearing from Mike McCarthy, hearing from everybody else, they were saving things. You know how it works. It's only a matter of time before defense starts playing you a certain way. Okay? They're going to see what you're doing. They're going to make the adjustment, and then it's going to go out. They're going to send the bat signal out, and every team is going to play us that way, forcing us yet to adjust again. It's going to happen offensively and defensively. They're going to see I don't know what they can really do with us defensively. We're just bowling out. Good luck. But offense, they can make adjustments. But he's not showing. I mean, he was just crossing off plays. He's not going to run that. So that's fine. If he would play a better quarterback or more mature, a guy who could read a little better everything that's going on, I don't have a problem with it. But at the time, it was a little frustrating that we couldn't get the ball in the end zone. We won 30-10, people. Right. What's up, Jeff Lee? How you doing, my man?
No, I mean,
So how's everybody feeling? I mean, we all kind of hit the nail on the head when you got to
the scores, and we talked about how they're going to score. We were right there. I
right
mean,
there.
and I think what's nice about that is that you have, you have a finger on the pulse of this team, and they're not tricking you. Right? Obviously it's only 2 games. Again, we're not giving the anointing oil. We're not saying that this is that team. We saw this. This is the stuff that we saw. We saw this defense, and they're just proving to us what we were seeing in camp, what we were seeing within the roster, what we were seeing in Dan Quinn, putting these pieces together. Adjusting his defense along the way as he's getting more and more pieces. What's the front office do? They don't take away and get rid of pieces. They actually complement the ones that are here. And I think that was the big difference of what this offseason had compared to others. And that's where you talk about guys like Brandon Cooks, Stephon Gilmore. Man, they bring a whole other element. And, of course, we missed a guy like Cooks, and that's where you were hoping a guy like Gilmore would come out and show, hey, man, when you're the number 2 receiver, oh, wait, Cooks is here, okay, you're going to be the number 3 receiver, but you got to be ready to be number 2 and maybe even a possible number 1. And it just, again, I got to look back. Maybe he was getting double covered majority of the time, but I just have not seen any really separation even when he goes to catch the ball. There's always seems to be somebody within his hip pocket. I mean, he makes a lot of the catches, not recently, but, it is what it is, right?
Yeah. Shout out to Wild Boy Trey. Thanks for joining the show. You're a new name. We know new names. Thanks for joining us. He says, I'm ready for some Jalen Brooks. It's funny you mentioned that because I brought up Jalen Brooks today on my live stream on my channel. Game Time Brian. I know my man, the Primetime's got it up in the
I'm going to bring it up
comments. No. But anyway, yeah, thanks for joining the show. I see Phil's got some more subs. We're rolling, baby. But yeah, you bring up a good point. Jalen Brooks, he's my pet cat. I liked early in training camp. I laid out the whole story about how we were able to get him in the draft, his background. Dude is for real. And just keep an eye on Jalen Brooks. I'm glad we actually didn't do what we did with the guy from Washington, Commanders last year. Ridgeway. We kept him on the roster. This dude is going to do things in this league. He's just raw. He's young, but
I'll be right back.
I love me some Jalen Brooks.
Yeah, just go ahead and keep
we
talking.
Are deep. Anyway, hey, Elena Walker, how are you? Thank you. Let's see. Glimmerman says they will start shutting down everything quick, but Dak is taking shots downfield. That's stretching them out. That was another thing, Glimmerman, that I had said that I wish they would have done. It's just put Turpin on a 9 route. We didn't have Cooks, so just send him on a 9 route.
When I look at that, I think like you're saying, he's crossing out plays. He's crossing out plays. And there's a whole section of just that. Okay, we need to push this thing down the field. We need to hit the acceleration. To me, that's what this feels like, this offense. That's what I was telling you where, okay, if maybe they come out slow, this defensive line likes to get some pressure. Well, the way that this offense is set, it's set to counter every single thing that gets thrown at you. You want to throw a blitz on it? Bam, we got a quarterback that can handle that. You want to throw some zone at it? We got a quarterback that can handle it. You want to throw some man coverage on it? Well, guess what? This game plan and the way that this offense can handle it and this receiving core can definitely make separations, and this quarterback can make the throw. So there's a combination of things that are happening that even if one thing's a little bit off, yes, it can mess up some timing and everything like that. But at the same time, the skills like a CeeDee Lamb making a catch now, going up and getting it, and it doesn't hit the ground, man, that changes the percentage. I mean, how many times you saw those commercials that were like, well, the ball's going over here, the percentage of actually catching is like do-do-do-do, and they try to calculate it, and then when you add up all that stuff that this offense is really bringing, man, trust me, the success rate is going to be very, very high, and you're going to get frustrated, of course, certain situations, but man, hey, you just got to also enjoy the show.
Absolutely. Brooklyn Joe says he has to be better than Gallup so far. Gallup, I keep hearing that he was double teamed. Why would they double team Gallup and
because Gallup's the man?
CD? It makes no sense to me.
Maybe they tried to do
about
CD.
that from what I've seen. Yeah.
Of what?
Let's see. Eric Haters. It's all time. So buy his fast and read the ball has 2 out. I'm not sure what that means, Eric. Yeah, it's confirmed. I want Parsons as the power back. Listen, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Put Micah. What I don't want to see when we get down to the goal line.
He's talking about timing. He's talking about the timing of the throw.
Yeah, what I don't want to see anymore is when we get to the goal line is do misdirection with a tight end running the ball. I didn't like the Peyton Hendershot running at the goal line. Yeah, he's not used to running the ball, let alone at the freaking goal line. All right, so let's throw that one away. Let's rip that one away.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan. I'd rather run the Wildcat offense by that point. So there was some question, but again, we're picking and choosing because when you look at it, when you're layering this, the first drive they go down there,
lighting people up. That's what you got.
When you go down that first drive, it was methodically. It was just boom, boom, just moving the ball. You don't know whether we're gonna run. You don't know whether we're gonna pass. Okay, we're gonna pass on this down. We're gonna, so they were just moving it down. Obviously, in those things are the scripted plays, but again, the successful scripted plays. So again, when they obviously turned it. There was the defense did its thing, 3 and out, boom. They come back. The offense doesn't do anything. They shoot back, and then they go for a special teams crazy punt situation in their own 20-yard line. And everybody's kind of giving them crazy. And of course, he's jumping up and down like they just won the game with that one. And then they go 3 and out, and then have to punt it again. And so we said it right then and there. Why do teams do that? It's just you do it extremely early because you know that the matchup is not there in your favor, and you're gonna need to pull out these trickery plays. So I was a little amazed that they didn't do more of those. But what did you think about that gutsy play to even try to go for the fourth down thing?
That was fine. I didn't have a problem with that.
Well, in the sense
I thought.
Now I was gonna say, do you give him credit?
At that point, I don't think they thought they could lose the game. Honestly, I think they got to a point where they was just messing around, and trying shit, not showing stuff. That was fine. Let's see here. Glimmerman says the difference is now Mike McCarthy is giving Dak options on passing routes. They aren't all doing curl routes. Yeah.
At the same time,
I actually like what McCarthy's doing. He's allowing Dak to take shots, but he's also keeping Dak from himself. It was almost like the way Kellen Moore calls the game. He thinks everything is going to be a home run touchdown. And in this league, with these defenses, even the bad teams have good defenses, can make plays. Sometimes it's best being smarter. There are times when you can take your shots. I just think McCarthy just shows his mettle when he's calling his plays. So,
yeah, I love the play calling. It was very good, especially when you look back at it. I was with you. I wanted Deuce Vaughn to get more involved, and then all of a sudden, boom, he did start getting involved. And so when you were telling me about the touches, he gets 30 touches. Tony Pollard. I can't see him sustaining that for the whole season. I'm looking at more like 20 touches that we're trying to try to get him, whether you're throwing him out of the backfield or whatever. And then you're getting Deuce maybe 5, and you're giving a Rico 5. It's got to be. It's got to be there. I love the balance, though. But when you look at the time of possession, man, that was just crazy. Dallas had it for over 40 minutes. That says what they were doing to this defense.
Yeah. Well, the one thing, like Udoga, he got banged up. Yeah, and he's out with an elbow. I don't know how. I haven't heard any update. We'll know.
I heard that he was okay. It sounds like it was okay. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Well. TJ Bass, I told Phil, I love me some TJ Bass out of Oregon. Yeah, I like him, but he's young. He needs to put on some more. He needs to be a little bit stronger. If you saw when he came in the game. Yes, exactly. He got blowed up a little bit. So I expect Tyler Smith to be back this week. I do. So yeah, we're nitpicking here. But
yeah, we are. We very much
come
are.
out of this.
But I think that's what they're doing. I
headline
mean, when they're looking at the film on Monday or Tuesday, whatever day they come in, that's what they're doing. They're nitpicking it as well. This is where you didn't finish your route. This is where you didn't get this accurate pass. This is where you didn't catch your block. This is where you didn't go to the next level. You know, this is where the running back didn't run down the field, but the center ran all the way down the field and got the fumble. So there's a lot of stuff that they need to still improve on, which again, you know, if you can correct any of that stuff, man, it makes it a lot more impressive. So again, like
my question to everybody.
Your question? Did you say question?
For you and
Excuse
everybody.
me. I'd like to ask you.
Sorry, I had to. I haven't done that in a while.
I know. I love it. You know me. I love the drops, man. Keep them coming. I just got a headline here, you know, and I wanna touch on this and see what you guys think of my opinion here. I hope I'm wrong because I like them, but Cowboys will keep feeding Tony Pollard after career high in carries versus the Jets. Cowboys running back Tony Pollard had 25 carries and 7 catches, both career highs. Yada 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 yada. McCarthy said today that Pollard has always shown incredible endurance.
You know what it is?
With the Cowboys offense.
Let's be real. We're not re-signing him to a long-term deal.
Yeah,
and we're going to run the shit out of him. That's what it is. Let's read between the lines.
I feel like, yeah. I mean, I hate to think that, but it's like I think that they're counting on the comp pick, and after this year, Tony's gone. Now, I don't know how we could do that.
DeMarco Murray
numbers. Let's face it. Yeah, you know, we'll see about that, but that's the first thing that came to my mind, you know, is that we're going to zap any bit we can out of this guy before he's gone. Because, you know, somebody's going to have money, right? You would think somebody's going to have money to sign him. We're not going to be able to keep him next year.
So if he even gets close to, if he gets that 30 per game, he's looking at over 500 touches. So yeah, DeMarco was like what 450 something. So yeah, you're running it.
You're right.
And that's exactly. I mean, that's where I see it. And people are like, well, it's because he's talented. No, man, don't let them say that to you. Just because they're saying something nice doesn't mean that it's nice. It's just, Don't go in the dude's van. Quit going into that guy. Don't got no candy.
Says, run him into the ground. And Twiz says, run him into the ground. But I don't know. That was just a thought that I had. We'll see. Maybe not. Let's remember
he's gonna be working in his dad's barbecue shop.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll revisit that.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
All in all, you know, I have the game on in the background. If anybody wants to know, it's 3-3. It's kind of a ho-hum game, kind of a boring game. 3-3 after 1, so you're not missing much unless you guys got it on the background as well.
I mean,
but
restart my internet. That amazing Saints versus Panthers game. Oh, wow.
Yeah. In Carolina.
Yeah.
And, you know, they came out and said that, and the quarterback for Carolina looks like ridiculously small.
He does.
Anyway.
He's like a little Make-A-Wish Foundation kid out there. He's like, I want to be quarterback of the Panthers. And you're just like, all right, let's go ahead and do it, man.
Right. I shall call him Mini-Me. That's how I look at it. But anyway.
No, and I think he should be a good one, but he's going to struggle this year. He's going.
No way.
Yeah, he's going to struggle this year, man, because what do they have to comment? I mean, they had a pretty good running game last year, but it just doesn't seem to be the same. But again, 2 weeks. Let's get the rust off. You know, week 4 to 6, that's where you kind of start to get more of this is who that team is. They've done it repetitively. You know, maybe they struggled against this team, but you know what type of team it is. Do you have a roller coaster team? Do you have a dominant team? Do you have a team that you can actually look forward to the playoffs? That's going to be the question as this season unfolds. And Brian, you're going to leave here. You're going to go over to Mark's channel right now, right? If he's on?
Yeah, in a few minutes. I got to eat something, man. I haven't eaten since I came home, so.
All right. Well,
I don't know if he's doing both games.
I think.
have no idea.
Oh, man, that would. I forgot about that. But, anyways, anything you want to say to the crowd before we get out of here?
I would say this. I got a couple comments. You know, we're allowed to have our 24-hour. Me and Phil are going to turn the page after tonight, but we're not going to talk next week. Look ahead. We are talking about what happened yesterday. We're allowed to enjoy the game for 24 hours, even if we beat the Sisters of the Poor down the street. It will, like, a win is a win is a win. It was a great win. They They did what they had to do. We're Cowboys fans. We're
Yeah,
allowed to enjoy
Coyote,
the game. I'm not
great
bringing
job.
up another team. I'm
The
not
kicker did
crapping
great.
on
Audrey
any other
did great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh yeah. That's who I wanted to bring up. Ever since I brought the Ray Finkel jersey, he's gotten his act together. So laces out, people.
Yeah,
Laces out.
we might have ourselves a kicker, man. Like it was looking good. Those kicks were yesterday,
with
and they
a
looked
55
down
yarder.
the middle. They were just right
Yeah.
down the middle. Like that was
Actually,
just that was
reminds me, I gotta
arena
look and see
kicks.
you.
That was just right down the middle, man.
Yeah. Well, that reminds me. Oh, there's Philadelphia. What up, my man?
Hey, what's
That
going on,
reminds
man?
me. I gotta make sure. I gotta go see if he's available on fantasy.
Yeah, it did pop up on my mind as well too, because there'll probably be some times where we'll be doing that same thing. You know, there'll be times where they'll make some stupid little calls, and or we're being conservative. You know, they're not afraid to go down that route, as we saw.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
So, anyways, I appreciate everybody coming.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody coming through. I appreciate everybody following us. We're gonna be back on. When's the next game? Basically, what do we have on the next schedule? We got Arizona, but what time? What time the next?
Before you run us out of here, let
Okay.
me look at the schedule. We play. Let's see here. Let me go to an actual. Let's see. I don't know why it's not giving us. Okay, we'll go with.
Here we go.
I know who we play.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Let me just
So it
go
looks
to the
like it's a
Cowboys.
4:30 game on Sunday. So obviously we'll be here for Saturday to talk about it, and then we'll try to figure it out whether we're going to do any kind of broadcast. We may not broadcast this game. I'm not really sure. We haven't really talked about it in that sense. But hey, right now I know for sure that we're going to be back on Saturday talking about this game, enjoying again this Jets victory for the next 24 hours. Well, not even 24 hours, right? It's like you get until midnight or until you wake up in the morning. Do I get to wake up in the middle of the night, still feel good about it?
Yeah, I would. I would say yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody coming
looking
through.
at
Honestly, and Brian, I appreciate you coming through and go do your thing, and we'll come back here on Saturday talk about it. If something pops up early, all of a sudden, just keep an eye out. We may do a show out of nowhere sometimes. We'll eventually do one of those, right?
Impromptu.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just do a show because we feel like
yeah.
it. So, yeah, look out for that. But anyways, I appreciate you guys coming through. I appreciate subscriptions, the comments, everything. But one thing I do appreciate the most is to doing what? Not forgetting to
ringing that bell, everybody.
I appreciate you guys.
Hey, we know each other. He's a friend from work.
What you do, you're like a little screw loose type of guy, and that's how I am. So I'm digging it, big guy. I am.
Who are you?
You.
No, not me, you.
Yes, I am you.
Just answer the damn questions. Who are you?
Game Time Brian, otherwise known as the mailman here,
Cool name. Superpowers?
broadcasting from the illustrious Jobu Studio.
Come on, are you gonna tell me who that is?
Primetime Phil, and of course my co-host, Game Time Brian.
Oh, Jesus Christ, this place is going to explode. $100,000, I don't even need to hear it.